Thank you, Julie. Oh, sorry. Yep.
Agreement schedule.
Perfect. Thank you. It's like warm off the printer.
Go, sir.
Like your tie, Mike.
No, it's on vacay. Okay, I do have 7. I'll wait for Julie to get back. Welcome to the June 21st meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. For our invocation tonight, I just ask that you offer your own intentions, but if we take a moment of silence to pray for those 5 souls that are lost at sea currently and still part of a search and rescue effort going on near the wreckage of the Titanic. Please join me in a moment of silence. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk will read the roll in just one moment.
Councilman Martin? Here. Please note for the record, Councilman Rivera is absent. Councilman Dudley?
Here.
Councilman Gonzalez-Perone?
Here.
Vice President?
Here. Next item on the agenda is town council reports. I'll start on my left with Councilman Godlewski.
Just a couple of things to report, Mr. Supervisor. Reminder that we've got some great parades coming up. The Outlaws 4th of July parade happening on the 4th of July. The Flag Day parade, the Burn Hills Boston Lake Flag Day parade was rescheduled to the 6th. That unfortunately was the day that we were experiencing the blowback from the wildfires up in Canada. And then also too, I wanted to just congratulate Crossroads on a wonderful event. Myself, you, Mr. Supervisor, Judge Lockwood, and one of our now retirees, Arnie Briscoe, had a great time participating in their golf tournament. Crossroads is a wonderful organization in Rotterdam, does a lot to help children in our community. And we actually, the punchline here is that we actually won the golf tournament. No thanks to the supervisor, but nevertheless, we had a great time. It's always nice to get out and do something good for the community, and also talk a little bit of, at least between you and I, a little bit of shop. So that's all. Thank you.
People bring me for my personality, not my golf skills. I know. Councilwoman Amanda Gonzalez-Barone.
Yes, I attended with many of you the Memorial Day parade along Mohawk and Scotia, and that was a lot of fun and great event and a great ceremony afterwards to celebrate those who served. And there is a traffic safety committee meeting scheduled for next Wednesday that I will be attending to address some of the issues that have popped up over the last month. And that's pretty much it.
Couple. Yeah. Thank
A
you.
few of them, yeah.
Councilman Martin. No report tonight. Excellent. We'll move to privilege of the floor. I see that we have no one signed up, but if you're interested in speaking on privilege of the floor, you just raise your hand. We'll invite you to the podium and you can address the board. So privilege of the floor is now open. I see Frank is hand up. Now I'm worried.
No reason to worry, Mr. Supervisor. Mr. Supervisor and the town board, Frank Salomon. I'm a resident of the city of Schenectady. I appreciate the indulgence to let me speak here this evening. I just want to speak briefly on Mike Godlewski's last meeting as a member of the Glenville Town Board. I've known Mike since we were about 13 and 14 years old, respectively. From Rotterdam to Niskayuna to Glenville, Mike has always dedicated himself to the community. And the one thing that I'd like to say is that I think we've all experienced elected officials who are in the minority who like to pick fights for the sake of picking fights, make it personal, and for reasons other than doing what's best for the community. And I think that we can all agree that Mike Godlewski has most of the time tried to make the arguments about what's best for the people of the town of Glenville, has dedicated himself to doing that every day. I would imagine that you all will also miss having him here and to wish him luck in his future job that he starts tomorrow. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Frank. Anyone else wish to be heard at privilege of the floor? Going once, going twice, seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. On the note that Frank just talked about, we do have a special proclamation here for Councilman Godlewski, and so Mike, I'll ask you to join me over at the podium for a special presentation. I was shocked when Mike told me that he was leaving the board. It was just 5 years ago that Jim and I got the gut punch election night that Godlewski and Aragosa had won, and I know that affected you. It affected me too, trust me. The hair got a lot grayer over 5 years, but Mike and I don't know if we got off to the best of starts. I think we had some time to try to really get to know each other a little bit and trust each other. I will say Mike has a distinction of being the only council member in my 14 years that I ever gavelled out of order twice. But you also have the distinction is the only other council member that's been gavelled out of order was me by Supervisor Quinn. So we have some kindred spirit here, Mike. You know, I'm going to talk first about a little bit of what I'm going to miss from you, and then I'll talk a little bit about, you know, our appreciation for you on the board. Two things I'm going to absolutely miss from Mike Godlewski. Number one is the reading of the obituaries during his report. It seems some of these folks who haven't been with us may not recall, but Mike likes to weigh in on recent deaths. And so we're going to miss that. And the second one, and my favorite, is the extensive movie reviews during his new business. And particularly of, the only two people laughing are him and I, because we're the only two that remember this, particularly of the 1990s movies. You're very good with, you know, Batman Begins, and we had to hear about all these things all the time. And those were his reports very often. But Mike, you know, was definitely one of the more valued members of the board across party lines. He and I worked together. Mike was someone, I think Jim will talk about this a little bit. I think you've experienced it too, Jim. Someone that you could always talk to, someone that was, you know, smart on the issues, intelligent. Frank summed it up, never fought just to fight. One needed to take a principle stand, took the principle stand, but it was done for the right reasons. And one of the things I appreciate most about Mike is the same thing I appreciate with everyone who served, that I've served with anyway, was that he always kept and he always did what was in the best interest of the people of Glenville. And I can say that about Mike, and I appreciate that because that's all we ever ask of the folks who serve on this board. So in recognition of and appreciation of your service, the town board wishes to express its appreciation and gratitude for your 5 years of dedicated service to the town of Glenville and for your work on behalf of all of our residents. And in recognition of this devotion to the town, I, Christopher A. Ketzley, by the power vested in me, the Office of Supervisor, do here proclaim Sunday, June 25th, 2023, as Michael Godlewski Day throughout the town of Glenville. So congratulations. You tell your wife that's your day. Don't let her give you anything to do. Janik said you can speed through the town. No problems. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I get a picture? Oh, we're gonna get a standing ovation first. You should have got the hug, Vicky, because that's not happening again. Floor is yours, Mike.
You want me to?
It's up to you. You
Yeah.
want to be at the podium?
Yes. This feels pretty natural up here, Mr. Supervisor. I gotta say, so this whole process of leaving a position that I've been in for 12 and a half years at the County of Schenectady and stepping away from the town it's been very emotional. When I said my goodbyes at the county, I was a sloppy crying mess. I don't know if I think you all have gathered that I am pretty sentimental. And I if I head in that direction, I apologize, but I'm going to try and keep it together. And I also realized that the stagecoach turns into a pumpkin at 11:59, and but I just wanted to start. This experience has been wonderful. From first running, I wanted to just thank some of the folks. I know that I acknowledged them when I first got elected, but some of the folks that helped kind of start me off down this path. One of them spoke tonight. My good friend. Frank Salamone, along with Frank, Chris Gardner, Rory Fluman, Mike Aragosa, Dave Bauk, Kathy Burns-Smith, and also looking down on me is, here I go, my Uncle Chet. It's, we've all kind of been down this path with the political side of things and gotten into the throes of campaigns. It's wonderfully invigorating. It's time consuming. It's hard, but it's also rewarding when you get to a point like this where you get to, be in the room and be part of the decisions and the big decisions and decisions that have affected our town here in Glenville. And I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful for everybody I've worked with here, all of our wonderful department heads. Tony and Craig are here. I know Jason and Vicky. I've known a bit longer. You guys have been here the whole time I've been here. You both were wonderful resources to me. Vicky, I will always think back with fond memories to our day going and touring the parks and being in mud up to probably our thighs over on Onderdunk, and also to Highway Superintendent Capola, to Chief Janik. To everybody, it's to all of our town employees. You guys are the best. It's when you say you're from Glenville, you say it with pride, and it's because of who we are and what we stand for, and what a wonderful town we live in. I remember when I first got elected, and our first night here, Supervisor Ketzley talked about how Glenville was some remarks to the extent of, oh, Glenville's the best place on earth. And I was like, man, the supervisor's got to get to like San Diego or some of these other places where it's not, we don't have winter. But, in retrospect, the supervisor was right. I love being a Glenville resident. And I love how this Rotterdam Democrat was embraced here in the town of Glenville once we moved, and me and Alicia took up roots here. I want to thank my family. My wife had planned to come here. She's in a wrestling match with her 3.5-year-old who had other plans. They're probably watching Bluey or something, or Disney or something along that, but I'm certainly happy for them. And then obviously, last but not least, my colleagues up here on the podium. Jeff, we've worked just for a little while, but I appreciate your professionalism and your candor. Amanda, I am excited to see where everything goes for you. You're a wonderful asset to our community as a businesswoman and an asset to our council. Sid, I've gotten to know Sid and his wife Vicky, who's in a similar field of what I do, and they're my neighbors, and I'm looking forward to running into them in the morning when I'm out walking my dogs, and thank them for everything. Julie, I would be remiss if I didn't mention just how kind you've been to me, and I really appreciate that, as well as your husband, Judge Davenport. Jim, we're probably polar opposites as far as political ideology is concerned, but I think you are a wonderful person. I've enjoyed working with you. I've enjoyed learning from you. You are sharp as a tack, and when you talk and it's on a subject matter that I'm not particularly familiar with, I always make sure I tune in because I know I'm going to learn something, and I appreciate your candor, and I appreciate you standing up for what you believe in. I think that covers it. No, I wanted to, Chris, obviously.
And you will miss most of all.
So our relationship is the weirdest relationship I have with any human being. It just simply is. I can't characterize it any other way. I feel like there are times where we sit and we talk for an hour and a half about something, and it's like it feels like a deep, prolonged friendship. And then there are other times where I feel like you're secretly plotting and I'm secretly plotting, and we're trying to figure out ways to defeat the other one politically. But I have enjoyed our time. I certainly agree with you that we've warmed up to one another, and I appreciate all you do for this town. Appreciate your leadership. I have learned a great deal from talking to you, working with you, and I look forward. I've enjoyed serving under your steady hand, and I look forward to seeing what's next and what's in store for Glenville. I'm sure great things are always lie ahead. So I appreciate it, and I'll miss you guys. I'll miss all of you. I'll miss these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. Anyone else wish to speak at privilege of the floor? Going once, going twice, seeing none. It's not closed. We probably actually closed that already, Mike. I'm sorry that we did a proclamation. That we're on privilege of the floor. So we're at supervisors' comments to the board. I don't have a lot I'm going to comment on. I'm not going to go back out there, but I'll just say that I want to make one comment on the 4th of July parade because I think it's worthwhile. That was really, and I think everyone here would agree, was another case where all of our local governments came together to work together to make sure something happened for the community. I want to thank the county for their leadership on that. Kathy Gatta jumped right in. The town of Glenville immediately offered assistance. I know I was on the phone with both Kathy and the mayor in those days,
Do you
pledging
mean
our
the fireworks, not the 4th of July parade?
fireworks.
The Scotia, yeah.
Yeah, the Scotia
Okay,
fireworks.
okay.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't say Scotia.
You said the 4th of July parade.
Oh, the parade. Yeah, no, the fireworks. Thank you.
No problem.
But that is just another case where everybody came together, pledged support, and worked together to help each other, and made something happen for the community. And it's just worthwhile noting that. Secondly, same situation. I wanted to update you on the All Plaza sidewalk anyway. Craig Yeller and I were over at the All Plaza Neighborhood Association yesterday, and the county's moving forward with their portion of the sidewalk. It was a bit of a contentious meeting, I would say, on some aspects, but the town also presented its plan to continue the sidewalks, ideally to Maple at some point. We're going to go to the rail tracks right now because getting over those rail tracks is going to be difficult, and working with the rail company is not going to happen by October. So that will be a later phase to this, but we're going to essentially be out to bid. Hopefully, we have preliminary plans that we shared with the folks in All Plaza, and we'll be out to bid. Hopefully, I believe the engineer said so that we're ready to be in the ground in October when they're about ready to finish their sidewalk. So it'll be one continuous, hopefully, project for the folks in All Plaza. I want to just point out that, at the meeting, the county sprung upon the town that they would expect us to take care of the maintenance for the sidewalk. And that wasn't the deal at all up until that very moment. It was always the fire district was going to do it as a community service. And the fire district decided that they can't take that liability on with workers' comp and all this kind of stuff. Apparently had that conversation with the county, but the county never communicated that to us. The town's not prepared to maintain that sidewalk. Craig and I and Tom Capola have all talked about this. The offer I made to the county, and I'm hoping that they take it, which I think would be at least in spirit of that same cooperation I was talking about with the fireworks, is I'm asking the county if they want to purchase the equipment that's needed, according to Craig and Tom's specs, to maintain that sidewalk, and we can keep it at the All Plaza Firehouse. We would then work to provide the personnel to use it, and the All Plaza Firehouse can also use it potentially for their sidewalks as well. So I think that's a good partnership between the county and the town, if we can do that. But we don't have the equipment. Getting equipment over there from here would be difficult. And so it's really something that hopefully with that ARPA money, I know that's out and about in the county, maybe that's something that we can work on. So that was the offer we made, and I hope that is something that we can count on. But that's really all I had to update you folks on. And so with that, we'll move to item number 7, which is the resolution scheduling a public hearing right here at Town Hall regarding the proposed amendments to Code Section 259 of the Water Distribution System. Do I have a motion? I'll move it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this? This is just to start the conversation, this is a change to the code that DPW has been talking about for years. It's been recommended. This is to allow the use of what is known as HDPE pipe for water mains and provide that use regarding the town water system. So this is essentially allowing the use of a different material, HDPE pipe instead of ductile iron. And has a bunch of benefits. I can have the commissioner here talk to you about that briefly if you like before we take that up. Why don't we do that? Yes. You don't even want to hear more about it, or you guys got it from the workshop? Okay. So I try to get you up here, Craig. Sorry. Any other questions or comments? This again will allow us to use HDPE piping for our water distribution system. Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin? Yes. Councilman Featherston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Hudson?
Yes, resolution passes. And I apologize. In all the emotional start of this meeting, I forgot to mention that we are pulling item number 14, by the way. Item 14 is being pulled. That's regarding federal aid on behalf of the state to the town of Glenville regarding a certain multi-path use. So we'll be taking that up. That's just not ready yet. We do have 4 add-ons to the agenda. One is a resolution scheduling a public hearing on July 19th regarding a proposed local law to amend a chapter zoning map of Freeman's Bridge Road to research development technology. So we'll be calling that at the end of the meeting before new business. The second one is a resolution authorizing membership in New York State Municipal Workers' Comp Alliance Plan. The third is a resolution to become a self-insurer as the workers' compensation claims against the town. And then fourth is scheduling yet another public hearing to hear any person interested in proposed local law amendment regarding the law to establish a failure to operate stop for a local operator to stop for a local bus displaying a red visual signal or stop arm. That's known as the camera law for red light school buses. We're going to be adopting that local law, so we can talk more about that when we get to it. But I just wanted to note those changes for everybody before we went any further, and I apologize for missing that before the meeting started. So now we're on to resolution number 8, scheduling a public hearing on July 19th right here in Town Hall to hear any of those interested in proposed sewer extension to Sewer District 9, Swaggertown Road. Do I have a motion? I'll move it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion on this? This is the sewer extension to, I believe, one property on Hortsman. Is that correct? 4 properties on Hortsman. And it'll be extending into Sewer District 9. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin? Yes. Councilman Featherston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Hudson?
Yes. Resolution passes. Next, resolution 9, authorizing the purchase of a 2022 Dodge Durango for the police department. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Movement second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. This is to replace a 2020 Dodge Durango that's currently being used by the Patrol Division. Recently, Putnam County Sheriff's Office was awarded a contract for purchase of a 2022 Dodge Durango in the amount of $39,972. So we're going to utilize that contract to achieve some cost savings and purchase one 2022 Dodge Durango Pursuit from Maine Motor Car using that contract. Since this is a piggyback method, it is not subject to bidding requirements for General Municipal Law, Section 103.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Douglas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Tucker?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 10, authorizing the purchase of one 2023 Chevy Silverado for the Highway Department. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, moved and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, this is authorization to purchase a 2023 Chevy Silverado 2500. The amount not to exceed $49,600 from the Vino Chevrolet. I assume they were probably the listed contractor on the state contract.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Douglas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Tucker?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 11, accepting the original water warrant for Water District 11 as of June 1st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I just note, Mr. Supervisor, the warrant totals $1,686,889.70. That's including water rent receivables, special contracts, and stores.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Douglas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Tucker?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 12, approving 2023 budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. In front of you, you have a list of budget amendments. I won't go through each and every one of them. I'll just hit a few of the high ones. If you have any questions on any, let me know. We also have Jason, our comptroller, here as well. The 45,000, the very first one, increase appropriation of the A fund, buildings and grounds equipment by $45,000. Was a van that we purchased for a position here, Rob Conover's van, and so that was a purchase for that. As you can see, revenue increases for the A fund. Interest earnings are increased by $84,000. Interest has come up a little bit with the inflation and the rates. Yeah, that has helped. We've had some recovery in insurance claims for $23,000, so that increases the revenue a bit. You can see in the B fund, we've increased police equipment by $64,000. That's to cover body cams. We are getting into the body cam program. You'll see below there's a local government and a state aid in the revenue codes, 54,000 and 10,000. That covers the grant for the 64,000 for the body cams. Police fees for service, $35,000. That's an insurance adjustment for damaged vehicles, so that's appropriations for that. You will also notice in the highway fund, $85,000 for machinery. That's 2 trucks that we purchased for highway. You can see that it was taken from capital reserves under the revenues code. And the only other, some inter-fund transfers between water, sewer, the lighting fund, as you can see, that's a small one. That was the Adirondack Beverage, removing the lights off the pole. If you remember, we had that action and they're reimbursing us for that as well. Supervisor personal service is $26,000 increase, and that is for the position we spoke about last week, half year for confidential secretary to the supervisor. So that is that one. And then the only other one, Jason or Vicky, parks under A fund, $40,000 in additional appropriation. Another vehicle. Purchased a lot of vehicles lately. And the trend continues. So those are kind of the highlights. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions for any particular line that I didn't cover. Okay. Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Douglas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Rose?
Yes.
Supervisor Tucker?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement to sell water to the Clifton Park Water Authority. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. I think in front of you, you all have the water purchase and sale agreement between the town of Glenville and the Clifton Park Water Authority. This is a historic agreement. This is an agreement that I've been pursuing for 14 years. And I think, Jason has been part of it. Tom, Craig has come in on this. We've been pursuing this for some time. We have sold water to Clifton Park and Rexford, but never on a contractual basis. We sell on an emergency basis when they need it. And they do take quite a bit of water sometimes in the summer. But this will formalize finally a relationship between the two towns over the next 10 years. You see a schedule, Schedule A, which has the water rate per thousand to the water authority and the minimum purchase amounts. This is a 10-year deal that will bring $4.5 million into the town of Glenville as a minimum guarantee. We know they're going to take more. We know they want more. So in the end, we're going to have more revenue. But this is a significant, I think, arrangement for the town that will help us continue to make the needed investments into a aging water infrastructure. I think you all know, and as we start the budget process, Jason and I have already started talking with Craig and others about the needs we have within the water system. There's a 1964 water system that was last major investment was 2004. And now it's time to make these investments again. As we take on the business park, as we take on Clifton Park, as we take on other customers, we're going to need to invest in another well. We're going to need to invest in better distribution. We're going to need to modernize the plant. All of that can be offset by this revenue. And I think that's huge for our residents to understand that two things we're trying to do: rate stabilization and investments, capital investments that don't necessarily go on the backs of the residents. So this is I think, huge deal. It's historic. It's great for the town. You all know we haven't raised our rates in probably 20 years. Part of that is the strategic relationships with our sister communities where we're able to sell and bring revenue into the town. We can't, think that we're going to hold those rates forever. Certainly we have to look at that. But things like this help us at least mitigate against any rate increases. So I just wholeheartedly endorse this. I want to thank our staff, Craig and Jason and Tom and David and everybody who was involved in the discussions and negotiations with Clifton Park. And this is another situation, much like with Scotia, where we had a win-win for everybody. 2 major water contracts, I think, in 2 months is a pretty good standard. So I'm excited for it, and I'm just again wholeheartedly endorsing the agreement. Any other questions or comments?
I just want to say congratulations to the staff and to you, Chris, for achieving this. The third leg of this that you didn't mention, this is an underpinning of our economic development. The ability to be able to keep our industry, attract new industry. I know it's not especially attractive stuff or in the headline of the news, certainly, but these are the fundamental underpinnings of a solid community that has solid infrastructure and good quality water and sewer service to offer. So I just think this is tremendous. It's actually we did Charlton as well. I know it's a small one, but yeah. I think we had Charlton as well. So Charlton, Scotia, and Clifton Park now are all in order, and that's a big component of our municipal service.
And we already have Ballston too.
Yep.
Yeah, if I could, I would just add to that. I remember when we did the Ballston contract, and not kind of as Councilman Martin stated, it's hard to maybe get excited about water, but it is. We do have a very rich, wonderful asset with our connection to the aquifer, and with our proximity to some neighboring communities who don't have that access like we have. So it's a great agreement. I would commend everyone involved for putting it together. And who knows, maybe there's other communities that might be looking in the future. So it's good stuff all around.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Bezowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez-Perron?
Yes.
Supervisor Tustin?
Yes, resolution passes. Again, 14 has been pulled. Next resolution, 15, resolution to end the litigation between Capital Land Realty LLC and the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Sorry.
Again, we're going to let Mike second all the rest of them.
Yeah,
Okay?
Like,
I'm gonna keep
Move
my
them all,
mouth
Mike.
shut. Doesn't have the last one.
you'll have opportunity.
This is is another case where we've settled a tax cert on a outstanding litigation regarding both 2021 and 2022 proceedings with Capital Land Realty. As you can see, the original assessed value is $501,300. The agreed upon revision in 2021 is $462,400, 2022 $408,000, and then as you see, those remain unchanged through 2023, 2024, and 2025. So less than $100,000 reduction in assessed value. This is another one where our law partner, Vincelette, and Bill Patel, our tax assessor, worked very hard on this. I want to thank both of them. I think it's a good deal for the town. And again, it takes another tax cert off of our rolls here. Any questions or comments on that?
Just to add, Mr. Supervisor, that really the significance of it locking in for 3 years and being unable to be challenged, and two, I realized immediately that I forgot to acknowledge Bill Patel in my remarks, and just note what a privilege it's been to work with him over these past 5.5 years as well.
I already texted him and told him that.
I appreciate that. Try to unring that bell. Thank you.
He's watching on YouTube right now.
Yep, commenting.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Goodlisten?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez-Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Kessler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 16, authorizing the contract with PSC Pump and Process for the purchase and installation of remote monitoring equipment for the sewer department. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Again, I'll introduce this resolution on behalf of Councilman Ramatar, who's not here tonight. I'll call probably on our DPW commissioner if I get into trouble here, but I understand this is a cloud-based software program that will allow the town employees to use smartphones, tablets, computers, and other technology to monitor in real time the sewer pump station operations, which will enable a more efficient operation, improve maintenance of equipment, and earlier notification of potential issues, which will help us mitigate any impact to our residents. This is an investment in technology that we believe will pay for itself in the efficiencies that it will gain for us. And again, it's just another step forward for us to utilize technology in monitoring and maintaining our infrastructure. Did I miss anything, Craig? Any other questions or comments on that? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Goodliston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez-Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Kessler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 17, authorizing the chief of police to enter into a 48-month lease with Metroland Business Machine for a photocopier. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is for the lease of a photocopier. The police department has been leasing a Sharp photocopier for record-keeping purposes in the amount of $130 a month. They have worked with Metroland Business Machines for a new lease for 48 months at the same price with a one-time documentation fee of $75, which brings the total price to $6,315, which does exceed the $6,000 limit. So therefore, board approval is required for this purchase.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Goodliston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez-Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Kessler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 18, approving and authorizing the town clerk to issue permit to waive the permit fees for the rescheduled Burnt Hills Boston Lake BPA 2020 or 22nd annual Flag Day Parade. Do you have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just that it's, I'm excited that the parade's happening, Mr. Supervisor. I said that earlier. I'm glad that they found a way to put it back on, and we're happy to help with the waiving of the permit fee here in the town.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Goodliston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez-Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Kessler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 19, approving the minutes of the regular town board meeting held on May 3rd, 2023. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Yes.
I wasn't
Oh,
there.
I'll second.
Okay. I don't know if I could second that.
Moved in
but
second. I thought, wow, we got controversy.
I wasn't at that meeting.
All right, we're moving to second. Any discussion
Oh,
on
okay,
this?
second.
I would just thank Ms. Davenport for doing the minutes all these years and for putting them together for us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Dobson?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Brown?
This is where I abstain.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 20, approving the minutes for the regular town board meeting held on May 17th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Same comments as before, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Dobson?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 21, approving the monthly reports for May 2023. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
I'll just thank the department heads for putting the reports together for us.
Thank you. Just to note, the reports are the assessor's department, justice department, receiver of taxes, town clerk's office, and the police department. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Dobson?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 22, accepting the bid of $44,712 from TLT Seal Coating regarding our water break paving for 2023, phase 1. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? As I said, this is for paving our water main breaks. It's $44,712. This is for 13 locations, as you can see there, and it's only phase 1, but it is going to take care of those 13 locations. Schedule A is listed. All 13 locations are listed there, everywhere from 13 Pinewood all the way down. Any questions or comments on that? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Dobson?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution, add-on 1, scheduling a public hearing for July 19th, 2023, to hear all persons interested in a proposed local law to amend the town zoning map of Freeman's Bridge Road corridor to research, development, and technology. Do I have a motion?
I will move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. I know the applicant is here with his engineer. I don't know if you want to give just one. You don't have to, because it's during the public hearing that we'll ask you to do it. But if you're here and you want to just let the board know what we're doing, it's up to you. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dave Kimmer from ABD Engineers. I'm here with the owner, Joe Papalizio. Joe, he owns this lot here on Freeman's Bridge Road, and on the corner of Freeman's Bridge Road and Maple Avenue. This is north. Got the water's edge here, Walmart down there. This property is about 13 acres. And what he's looking to do is he wants to carve out basically a roughly 3-acre portion of the site to build a couple of 12,000 square foot flex warehouse buildings. But the thing is that the site is actually bisected by 2 different zones. The larger portion of the site is in the Freeman's Bridge overlay zone. And this little triangle here is in the research and development zone. So all he's basically looking to do is amend the zoning for this little triangle here. It's a little less than an acre portion, so that it matches what he's proposing in terms of the lot that he wants to build this on. We presented this to the planning board back in February, I believe. They, saw no issues with the zoning change. I believe they gave a positive recommendation to you guys. We'll come back. We'd like to come back at the next meeting for the public hearing.
That's Jim Martin's favorite thing is split parcels.
Oh, yeah, I love split parcels. I'm totally opposed to this.
No, I think that's a wonderful idea. And then you have to go back for site plan review, I would assume, right?
Right.
For the actual site planning. Now, the nature of these storage, is it like self-storage or is it more,
It's like contractor storage.
so it's commercial?
It's commercial,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not residentially based?
Right.
Okay. No, I think this is a good idea. Anytime we get rid of a split zone parcel, I'm all for that.
Any other questions or comments on that? Again, we'll ask you to come back during the public hearing.
Sure.
But at least the board has kind of an overview of where we're going.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're on the resolution to schedule this public hearing.
Yeah, once again, that is July 19th.
Yes, right here in Town Hall.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborski?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Peron?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 2, authorizing membership in the New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation Alliance Plan. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. As you all know, we are participate in workers' comp, obviously, and every once in a while, we like to get quotes, as you do with all insurance. And no different workers' comptroller solicited quotes. Turned out that it's in the best interest of the town to move our business to the New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation Alliance Plan. And this would authorize that to happen. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborski?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Peron?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution, add-on 3, resolution to become a self-insurer as to workers' compensation claims against the town. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. I'll second.
Moved and second, you figure out who did it. But this is, again, would authorize us to be the self-insured as to the workers' compensation claims. Jason, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that. Would So as a member, we'd be one of the self-insured. Yep. The pool. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborski?
Yes.
Councilman Gonzalez Peron?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, add-on resolution 4 to schedule a public hearing in regards, right here on July 19th, in regards to all those interested in a local law to amend Chapter 255 regarding creating the failure of an operator to stop for a school bus by displaying a red visual signal and stop arm. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. That's a very long title for the draft law you have here, but this is a program that Chief Janik and I have been working with Scotia Glenville School District in, and it regards basically putting the cameras in the buses so that when somebody runs through a red bus light, stoplight, it's recorded on camera. There's nothing in the vehicle and traffic safety law that would allow us to issue a ticket for that, because that would require the issuing officer to actually observe it himself or herself. And so this would be under our local law, town code, that this fine would be levied and the ticket would be issued under that. So the school bus, the stop arm camera would capture the person. We would then issue the ticket to the police department, and they would come into town court and appear as if any other traffic violation, just be for town code. And that's why we need a local law for it. The school district is kind enough, in partnership, I'm very pleased, they are paying for all the camera equipment for the buses. So they're paying for all the infrastructure on this. In exchange, we got to talking about, potentially, since there is going to be fines levied, and the town is not interested in the fines. It's not what this is about. And the first fine's $250, second fine $275, then $300, and up from there. One of the things that we have not put, I think, Jeff, you can talk about this, in the law itself, but really want to create a fund for the school district to access to run traffic safety, student traffic safety programs with the money. I want to, again, stress, this is not something the town is interested in just collecting fines on. This is something we want to work in partnership to reduce people running through bus stop signs. Believe it or not, I asked the director of transportation, how often does this happen? Because I'm thinking once in a blue moon. She said every single day someone runs through a red bus light. So it's going to put a little more work on our folks down there, at least initially. But if we can get the word out, if we can do an educational campaign, I think it's going to help. I don't know if you want to weigh in on that, Jeff.
Yeah, I think the town can work in coordination with the school district in order to set up programs, and the town can certainly fund those programs. And the school district and the police department and representatives of the town can all make the presentations and do the educational programs. But the town can certainly fund it and designate some fine money for that purpose.
It just wouldn't be in a local law.
It wouldn't be in the local law as dedicating fine money for specific purposes that will bind future boards.
Good. Any other questions or comments?
I am very much in favor of this. I know that it's been a habitual problem along Route 5 with the 4 lanes and traffic just blowing right by, stop school buses, not being aware that, yes, you all have to stop no matter what lane you're in. So I am very happy to see this go forward.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Last time, Councilman Henderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Tustin?
Yes, resolution passes. Mike, we put a resolution you couldn't vote no to for your last one.
I
knew you were going to try to vote no on something. We move to new business. I'm going to do something. I'm going to
All
end
right.
with Councilman Galuski. I'll start with Councilman Martin.
Oh, yeah, just a couple of things. I want to join in saying a fond goodbye to Mike. I appreciate your comments you made earlier, and I too have enjoyed our time together on the board. And I think you're a very reasoned person. And I think if we had more dialogue, among opposing views as we've had on this board in other forums and other branches of government, I think we'd be a lot better off. But it's been enjoyable, and I may have disagreed with you on a few things here and there, but I've always respected your position. So I just want to make that clear, and I wish you all the best in your new position going forward. And my final thing is getting back to the issue of the natural gas ban here in New York State. For those who didn't hear this, we did pass a resolution at our last board meeting opposing the ban that is apparently going to be in law, or at least promulgated in regulation. And it is for new construction in New York State starting in 2026, and then on certain buildings, mostly residential, and then on all buildings and all heights of buildings a couple of years thereafter. And I think this is incredibly stupid, not to use a complicated word to describe it. And interestingly enough, in the deliberations on this and people reaching out to me, when I first came out against this ban, we discovered that there was a case in California. City of San Bernardino had attempted to impose a similar ban, and they lost a case to the California Restaurant Association when they were challenged, and it was on the basis that they're preempted by federal law from entering into such a ban. They don't have that authority, and the federal court ruled in favor of the Restaurant Association on an appeal. So that's very informative. I think it directly impacts this state's attempt at a similar ban. And my point for raising this again is I would like to reach out to my fellow board members and see if we can talk about a strategy for us going forward where we can carry this message and maybe join or have some partners join us. And if it requires signing on to a lawsuit, I would have no problem doing that as this individual board member. But I understand the gravity of that request and and that's why I'm asking and for that consideration. I also did draft a cover letter for our resolution to be submitted. I submitted that to Chris for his review. He's reviewing it now. And it's a cover letter, a transmittal letter that's intended to transmit our resolution to every town in the state, if needs be, every municipality in the state, and asking them to join in this opposition. And I do so not in this spirit of right versus left or anything like that. Like I said before, who's against clean energy? But this is ill-timed. And it is also, at the same time, when it's an increasing issue of affordable housing, we have this ban proposed that's going to drastically increase the housing costs for our residents across the state and our residents in this town. And on that basis, it is flat wrong. And it's taking a singular view and imposing a value system on us that is just not in the public interest. And so I would ask you to give consideration to that and see if we can set up a strategy going forward of making this voice known and speaking out for our residents, and ask residents across the state to join with us, because this is just wrong.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez-Ferrone.
Yeah, I just wanted to wish Mike the best of luck. I haven't worked with you too long. I know you didn't quite vote for me on the board, but here I am anyway. With all that said, I've really enjoyed working with you, and I love how forthright you are with your beliefs and working together. I think one of the pinnacle things about government is being able to work with people you may or may not agree with and come to a resolution that is in the best interest of all. And I think you exemplify that. So I'm just proud to work with you, and I wish you the best.
Appreciate that.
Councilman Galuski.
Well, Councilwoman Gonzalez-Brown, I didn't know I was leaving when I cast that vote. So maybe if I, in retrospect, just to say, I said what I had to say. It's really been a pleasure for me. I guess I'll conclude with just one small thought. I was Monday, I was at the Malik Park with my daughter. She was swinging on the swings at the playground. She picked Malik over Central Park, over Collins Park. That's where she wanted to go. And, the thought occurred to me that when I started here, started on this board, neither my daughter wasn't here, nor was the playground. And, we've had a lot of, our thumbprints are on a lot of great things that are happening in our community, in the town of Glenville and around our community. And I would just encourage all of you to, never lose sight of what it means to serve and to continue to do your best, and look forward to seeing where everything takes you. Thank you.
Thank you. I've said all I have to say as well. I do wish you the best. Don't be a stranger. I'm sure you'll stop in, and I'm sure we'll get out on a golf course again, maybe some Saturday morning. Or
Pop in for grievance day, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you'll be in for grievance day for sure. But wishing you all the best, and thank you for all that you've done for the town.
Appreciate it.
So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it.
Second.
I will second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.